What? You can...
Heroes never
Genji
die.
can fucking send that shit back at... That's fucking horseshit.
What's going on, everyone? My name's Krupadoop, and welcome to another installment of my Just the Tip series. Today we're focusing on Mercy. Let's jump right into it with what Mercy can do. Before I say anything else, we want to look at her Caduceus Staff, which the primary ability, that will be what you're using the most as Mercy, and it's primarily used to heal your allies, and you also have a secondary, if you use the right mouse button, you can damage boost any of your teammates as well. She also has the Caduceus Pistol, which I personally don't use very often, and I really only whip it out when I'm isolated from my team or need to do some damage to finish off an enemy. Her two mobility abilities are Guardian Angel with left shift, and you can use that to fly towards your teammates in order to heal them. She also has Angelic Descent, which you can hold your jump key to float through the air, and it's good for staying unnoticed while protecting characters that are in the air, like Junkrat or Pharah. And there are also cases where you can probably use the Angelic Descent to get to areas that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. So tip number one when playing as Mercy is you really want to be surviving as long as possible. No matter what's going on in the game, your primary job as Mercy is to stay alive longer than the rest of your teammates. And the way you're going to do this easily is by staying with your team, which isn't to say be directly behind your teammates at all times like a Reinhardt. It's fine to stay behind Reinhardt, but when you're with attackers or if your team's all grouped up together, it'll probably benefit you to stay, I would say, 10 to 15 feet away from them, because Mercy's beam on her Caduceus Staff is actually pretty long. So you can basically be hiding behind cover and still be healing your teammates. On top of that, when your teammates are moving around, if there's a piece of like a wall or a statue, there's all sorts of stuff in Overwatch, but if you go behind a wall for a second, you'll still maintain connection with your ally as long as it's, I think, probably 3 seconds, 1 to 3 seconds of not being able to see them. So just stay with your team. That's probably the most important thing. And when you do find yourself amongst chaos and you're in the middle, you're in the thick of a battle, you have maybe 2 or 3 teammates that are fighting 2 or 3 enemies on the other team, the way you're going to stay alive then is hopefully you'll have someone who's flanking or your team is spread out decently. Then I would definitely be using my Guardian Angel to be flying around and making sure that I'm not an easy target to hit. So those are the 2 ways to stay alive with Mercy. That's basically it. You just want to get a feel for using your shift, your Guardian Angel ability to get around much faster than you normally would, because Mercy's running speed is pretty slow, so you're going to want to be shifting around a lot. You're going to want to be Guardian Angeling a lot. And when you are Guardian Angeling, that's really hard to say. When you are Guardian Angeling, which isn't even a verb, but if you find yourself in the air, it's always a good idea to angelically descent. Hold your jump key so you can just float through the air, because you'll find that a lot of people, at least right now in Overwatch, don't really look up when they're playing unless there's a Pharah. So if you have someone who's on a building on top of the roof or something, you can always Guardian Angel towards them and then stay up there with them and then float back down to the ground while healing your team. It's actually pretty interesting, and once you get used to it, you'll find that it's really useful. The next tip I want to share with you guys is look at your map. And what I mean by this is not look at your map, I guess, but be paying attention to the silhouettes of your teammates. And be paying attention to when people die, you'll see a timer. There's a circle with a skull, and it'll fill up, and it'll basically indicate to you when your teammates are going to respawn. So once your first teammate dies, you want to pay attention to that ring and just keep an eye on it, because you don't want to just blow your load right off the bat. And if you have your resurrect up, your super or ultimate ability, you don't want to just blow that on one person if it's really chaotic and you're anticipating more teammates dying. But there are cases where if your team is doing really well and one of your teammates just dies, don't be afraid to just use your ultimate, your resurrect right off the bat, because sometimes that will work out really well. On top of that, like I was saying earlier, pay attention to your teammates' silhouettes. When your teammates have good health, they'll be green. No matter if they're behind the wall or something, if you can't see them, their silhouette will be green. And if they're taking damage, it'll turn to yellow. And if they're about to die, you'll obviously see the health sign and then an indicator saying that they're on the verge of death. So just keep that in mind, that even if you can't see all your teammates, you should be able to see their silhouettes, assuming that they're close to you. The last bit of advice that I have if you're trying to get good with Mercy is knowing when to use her Caduceus staff to heal versus damage boost. And you'll see in a clip right at the end of this video where really you want to be boosting your teammates anytime they're not taking damage. And it takes a little while to get used to, but once you do start getting used to it, you'll have more situational awareness, knowing when teammates are taking damage, and you'll know when they're about to pop their ultimate abilities. And just knowing that, having a good feel, communicating with your team, understanding the situation you're in, it goes a long way. So just be always mindful of what's going on around you as Mercy. You're going to be the player that's not really attacking, and so you'll be more focused on the overall picture of how the game's going. Anyways, guys, I hope that you enjoy these few tips I've given you. I hope that you learned something new, maybe that you didn't know about Mercy or being a support character in general. And let me know down in the comment section down below if there's anything that you think that I missed or that you'd like me to elaborate on. I'd be more than happy to. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.